Welcome back to another edition, a late night edition, getting off at a late start tonight of Sonic's Corner.
Can you hear that music, Rhino?
Late but not last.
Can you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
I had to listen to you yell in my ear for 5 minutes.
We had one hell of a mic
check. I'm going to listen to this song.
We did a mic check.
So welcome to Sonic's Corner, guys. We're live here at Sonic Gardens. We got Gino Guns Granada.
Which camera am I looking at?
Josh the Wildcat Needham and Rhino, your host. In the back, running the controls, articulate Angelo Moriano.
What?
The CEO of Sonic Gardens. So before we get started, guys, just want to point out that Sonic Gardens is a great studio here in Norwich, New York. A lot to offer here. If you're a band and you want to put down some tracks, reach out to Angelo on Facebook. If you want to rent the place for a private party, all-encompass full-service facility, bands for hire, DJs for hire, photo booths, fulfillment services, bands, we can even make a clothing line just for you here, courtesy of Beads and Threads.
Just for you.
Just for you. So, like I said, welcome to Sonic's Corner, guys. We're going to talk a little bit first about UFC.
We are?
248 coming up.
This coming
Israel Adesayna.
What was last time? 247?
That was the line.
Yoel
Romero.
247.
So, Adesayna versus Romero. What do you guys think?
Never heard of him. No.
Never heard of the Style Bender? Jesus.
I'm going with the style bender.
You know, this is an interesting fight because Romero's a badass dude, but he's
What's
lost.
His record?
He's lost a few of his last fights, but in great fights, though.
Yeah, but listen.
Epic fashion fights.
I mean, come on. A great fight and you lose.
Well,
What's his record?
this is for the title.
No, come on. You gotta take it easy on him, Josh, because these guys are elite. They're the top of the class, and they're all going around. It's not like they've been around for 2 years and they're up and coming. These guys are like,
yeah, but
been in it a long time. So
Romero's
they're guys. They're like two champions going up
world.
Against each other. Somebody's got to lose. So,
right.
So undefeated's one thing, but dude, he's no joke, man.
I think Adesany's on his way
Yeah,
up.
he just I just watched him knee kick Chris Weidman in a rematch, or watching an older fight.
Yeah.
And that was
That's the one you said
intense.
he was losing first, correct?
I don't know if he was
close.
necessarily losing. The awesome fight was that he lost in decision to Paulo Costa.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So,
and that guy had a torn bicep, so he couldn't fight. So they had to give it to the next guy. Gotcha. But that was a decision loss, and it was really close. Could have went either way.
So
giving you a little history on Romero for his last few fights, all super tough fights, okay? So going back just a few fights, he beat Rockhold, knocked out Luke Rockhold in the third round, went on to fight for the title against Whitaker, who Adesanya beat for the title after he beat Romero. So Whitaker actually retained against Romero, and then as Ange said, he lost to Costa.
Yeah, so you would technically think, well, he,
by decision,
because Romero lost to Whitaker, and then Adesanya, beat Whitaker, that it would be, maybe in his favor, except for that in that fight against Whitaker, it was really like a Rocky punch, Rocky Creed, punch at the same time, and Adesanya stood, and it dropped Whitaker, and then he hammer fisted him out. Done.
Right. And that was in Australia, correct?
Yeah, that was in his
hometown,
home turf there.
So a lot of cool things that Adesanya does. Nobody seems to move like this guy. I think that's why they call him the Style Bender. I watched a little episode on him earlier, and his dancing and antics go all the way back to like the 5th grade, when it's the first time he performed in public. Did Michael Jackson, Billie Jean in front of the whole school, like in 5th grade. Yeah,
I didn't catch that.
And I guess it was it was verbatim, like able to do it like Michael.
I didn't. No one can do it like Michael.
right.
But,
yeah. No shit.
Well, so remember, I don't know if you remember this. So Adesanya, before his title fight, before he fought Whitaker, he was lobbying to be able to do his ring entrance and do a dance. And Dana White, for about a year, said, "No, we're not interested in having people dance on,
Not the WWE.
It's not the WWE and that sort of thing." So when he got his title shot, he was able, through some videos and stuff that he sent to the UFC, he was able to get permission from Dana White to actually do a dance in the beginning of his ring walk for the title fight against Whitaker. And so take a second and watch it. It is cool as shit. There's 3 rappers out there waiting for him. He comes out. They do like this group hug. busts out into a whole bunch of
I
cool
didn't
moves.
catch that.
It's really neat. It's actually, I mean, unlike the ring walk that we saw in the boxing
Of the
match
heavyweights.
of the heavyweight championship, it was actually kind of
Wilder
badass,
Fury.
man. So I got to give him credit. So he's no joke, 18-0. He's also the guy that's been very verbal to our man in the 607, John Jones. Saying Jones.
Oh, so
isn't-
he's 18-0.
He's 18-0. So he would have to come up and wait to fight Jones, but that fight has been brewing for a while. So it's possible. It's a possibility that after this fight, he comes up and
I
fights
just pulled up
if
that
he's to win
dance video.
and fight John Jones. Are you watching it?
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Tell me that's not badass, dude.
So, hey, you know what, though? I mentioned to you guys that last week's fight night was incredible, and there were, like, several just, like, on the edge what's going to happen.
Now, is this the one that they
fights.
called one, Ange? The one that you showed me?
Yeah, that one I
called
showed you
stoppage.
was about, it was literally maybe, like, 45 seconds in,
Now,
maybe
that was
less.
from the fight night?
I wish I could remember. Yeah, this was it was a down undercard. Well, here was one thing I was interested in because they bring out this guy and his record's 12-1, and this guy's 205-pound division, same as Jones. So we're Reyes has been top of our mind. We're talking about this guy because he's got a 12-0 record.
Reyes?
What was it? What was Reyes' record?
It was 8-0 in UFC, and then he had 4 fights in the other.
Professional fights.
So
yeah,
this guy
come
was
on.
this guy was 12-1. The other guy was like 15-4. And I want to see if I can pull up what the.
Yeah, I never did find the video of the fight because I
I'll,
missed it that night.
Yeah, and
was
showed
watching
me it the
fights.
other night because he had it from when he got it.
So
Obviously.
it was Ian Cutelaba and Magomed Ankelaev. Man, I wish I could say that better. But best, either way, the
did
fight
good.
comes out and it was this crazy brawl, and this guy head kicks the Cutelaba, or he punches him and he staggers him.
Yes.
Right? So then he starts doing almost like a drunken, fighter. You know what I'm talking about, Gino?
Yep,
where you
yep.
got that thing where he's
Stumble around.
wobbling his head. But
Yeah.
to the audience, it looks like he's rocked and he's
Yes.
about to fall over. But then as the dude comes in, he's swinging huge haymakers.
But he's
right?
missing.
He's just missing. And if he connects, that dude's dead. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, so then the dude's the guy that the aggressor is throwing high kicks and everything, and
But he wasn't really hitting them
But
too
after
bad.
the replay, they showed that none of them connected at all.
Yeah.
But he's still pulling this head wobble shit, and all of a sudden he catches maybe a small, not even a hard hit, and the ref just steps in with the
Called
guys
it.
both on their feet and just calls the fight, and instantly that Cutelaba just what are you talking
I was
about?
playing
I wasn't
possum.
out at all.
He was playing possum.
And that was basically what everybody
Muhammad,
thinks.
41
Muhammad
seconds.
Ali used to do that.
Yeah, and
but
it was
Muhammad Ali didn't look like he was gonna. This guy
See,
did.
I missed that.
This guy
I
did
should,
look like he was gonna fall down though.
I
He did.
can pull you guys up this fight
so,
just to watch it.
So I did see the after fight quick interview with that winner, and his claim was, I thought it was a good stoppage to the. Of course, I didn't see it, but his thing was, if the ref didn't stop it, I was just going to be doing more of the same. I wasn't going to stop punching or charging him. So it was a
Yeah,
matter of, it was a matter
that
of time.
Cutelaba could have caught one of those haymakers and
I
forget
think
it.
I think
Yo,
he
this
should've-
fight's about 1 minute, so I'm gonna pull it up
I
on the
think they
screen
should have
so you
just
guys
let
can
him
watch. Up on
up.
the screen, I'd
At
like to
least
see it.
knock him down first.
Yeah,
And
that's
then call it.
that's where it's debatable, but that's where maybe the UFC should institute maybe I don't know if you could do an 8 count, but a referee intervention just to check the fighter's awareness or status to make sure it's not a early call. But that's so tough to do in UFC. Boxing is a little easier. You can always give the guy standing 8. He doesn't have to go down for you to jump in and give him a standing 8. You want to give him a standing 8 count, you could do that. But the problem
I don't
is,
think you can in the UFC though. You can't do
no,
that.
you
in the
can't. And that's what I said. If there was a way that they could verify, I mean, he could have asked him, "Are you okay?" And if he didn't answer back, he had to step in. I don't know. But then again, he might not understand English.
I do want to see that because it sounds pretty controversial.
He's got it up.
All right, guys, I just pulled it up on those screens.
Oh, we're gonna watch it on the screen.
So this is
okay.
from last week, the free UFC live
So,
on ESPN Plus.
Ange, go to like a minute and a half because it happens with 41 seconds.
Well, it's
and
you don't even
left in the round.
You guys just might as well watch the whole fight because it's not
that's when
very
you
long.
want to.
We'll talk our way through. He looks like a giant Khabib.
Yeah, that's what I say too. Russian too.
Yeah.
And then this guy just looks like a
I
monster.
will break you.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the one that won, right? The guy, the light-haired guy, right? He won.
No.
Right?
No.
You're
Russia,
gonna see. I
number
shouldn't have
one.
said. You guys. I should have just let
Russia.
you
That's
see.
all right. That's all right. I saw the post-fight.
Now you're
thing,
going to watch this here in a second.
Yeah.
So these are some big boys, light heavyweights.
Was this the co-main?
No, they were like 4 fights
Undercard,
down.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like and that's why I'm saying the whole night was pretty awesome fights.
Yeah, I did see the main event. He went down like a sack of
Gets him here
potatoes.
in a second.
Oh yeah, nice kick. Definitely.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right
Oh
there.
yeah. Well. Yeah. Well.
But look at these haymakers.
He's
The
wobbling.
dude's
Oh,
in the
yeah.
fight, but he's in the fight.
Yeah. No, I don't know. They should have never.
Right
stopped
there,
it.
it's over.
Nah. No.
No way.
No, okay, so I see it now. Okay, yeah, totally early stoppage.
Rewind that. I want to see that again.
He's rocked. He's rocked. Clearly hurt,
He was wobbling
But-
like a motherfucker.
but he's still in the fight.
Yeah, he's way in the fight.
He stopped that fight
That's
like
like a
that when only
guy's
41
arm.
seconds into the damn thing.
That's no different than a guy's arm being all the way out and bending, but still not tapping. You know what I mean? He's still not tapping, so don't stop the fight.
He just like
Dude, he was.
Nah,
I mean,
that's too early.
He
yeah.
thought he was knocked out on his feet.
We're gonna watch this one again since it was so quick.
I mean, he was too. I think he was too aware of his situation to be knocked out on his feet.
He looks like he
half the fight's already over.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch it from a referee's perspective, like where he's seeing the angle.
Plus, he catches him with like a left too, right before he stops.
Watch
it.
when he gets rocked.
There was a good right there.
Now,
Right there, he's
now
rocked.
wobbly.
That
But
was
he's all
two.
right.
That was 2 hits. 3
Haymaker,
hits.
big punch, fast,
But he's
fakes.
4 hits.
He's still wobbly as fuck.
Yeah, but why?
Oh, and then he caught him with a left right there while he was stopping.
Well, he
But-
stops the fight.
but
the
he
loser.
never once even went to a knee.
No, that's what I'm saying is that
I don't
you
know.
had to at least let the
Early,
guy
too
drop.
early, too
Yeah,
early.
way too early.
You're right, Ange. I agree with you. Now that I see it back, maybe it wouldn't have changed. Maybe it would only played out another 15 seconds. But
No
let,
way,
But
he
let
was-
it play out. They're not. They're
He
not.
had a
they-
full head of steam. He was
But-
taking a couple shots.
So
Big
my
deal.
point is this guy, this giant Khabib, we'll call him, he's got a 12-1 record. So now he's 13-1, and he's 205. I mean, I'm not saying
He's, the
he's
one that called out
obviously
John Jones, right?
they're still considered prospects. No, he didn't call out John Jones, but
Adesayna, remember they're the two bickering at each other.
yeah. So that's it, man. That
Because
was
the
like
Reyes thing isn't solidified in stone. The rematch.
we can also.
Speaking of Jones, guys, I think the UFC is gonna fuck over Blankovich and not give him his chance.
He was the one that called out John Jones.
Ah, you're right.
True.
Thank you. I'm terrible at names, guys. I'm so bad.
Rightfully so, though, in the division.
All right. So
He's the next man up, and he beat his last two opponents in epic fashion.
So
Yep.
I'm big on fighter safety and fighters, but that's early in a fight that he wasn't taking a beating for a sustained amount of time, and it wasn't like it's the 5th round and he's been weary the whole night and just taking a beating. Unlike the Deontay Wilder fight where he needed to throw in the towel and stop him, because at that point he wasn't. He was a shell of the fighter he was supposed to be.
right, but
This
he
is
didn't.
way
He didn't
too
even.
early, way
He didn't
too
even
fresh.
wobble. Like he
No,
didn't even like.
He wobbled.
He just threw a couple big punches that
but
missed.
way too early of a stoppage. Too fresh. Wasn't taking a beat. My
was
thing is,
punching, but
Yeah.
he still was wobbling.
he was.
But then he caught him with that left too, right as he stopped it.
Yeah, but you know what? But let that play out a couple more seconds. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. And then I think
The
That's
ref
true.
might have had money on
yeah,
that
you
one.
must have. You better have for that
So-
way he acted.
No, I imagine he was concerned about the guy from his
Absolutely.
perspective, but
I think you need to let it play out a couple more punches though.
I don't know.
10 more seconds
But
at
he
least.
was right there. We're watching on a TV
Yeah.
here,
He
and
could
that
hear it.
guy's right there.
You
like
could hear it too.
if we see him wobbling like that, what's he really seeing
Is
there?
he seeing his eyes doing something?
Yeah.
Is he hearing him go? Ugh?
but there
You know,
was
is he
the
hearing
But
him
he
go-
didn't just call it for the hell of it. You know what I mean? Like you got to give him that at least. Or
there was well, there's also
I'm
the
sorry, that ref called that fight, and that fighter had every bit of energy in his body. Like, what the fuck? I mean,
Right.
there was no fatigue. He took a shot and recovered. I mean,
What were you gonna say, Ange?
That's just a bad stoppage.
Shoot, man, I lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
either
but
way.
I agree though. I still think it was a little early.
But
stoppage.
I do agree in fighter safety, big time.
I don't think it was going to change much, but I think you let it play out just a few more seconds just to see, if he goes to the ground, then you stop it. I mean, look at the main event. That guy took a hell of a beating before he went down, and then they stopped it. That was a good fight. He got rocked, and, he still got another 1 or 2 punches in on the ground before the ref jumped in and pulled him off. So, there's another fight that, probably could have stopped it a split second earlier. And this one here could have left it go a little longer.
Right.
So, guys, also in 248, co-main event is for Title II. Joanna Jędrzejczyk is getting a chance to win
She
a belt.
will be the first
Women's champ.
flyweight to hold it twice on 2 occasions if she wins it back.
So who she lost her belt to and then lost the rematch was Rose Namajunas.
Who took a nasty head drop from the one who has it now.
Correct. So it's an interesting fight.
And I don't know how she even recover from that one.
Well, she initially, laissez-faire announced her retirement and then went back to her roots and went back to one of her original coaches, and now Rose Namajunas is coming back.
Well, good.
She's most likely, if she's ready to fight, going to get the winner of this fight.
All right, yep. And
Just a twisted, tangled web.
Yep. Yeah, I was watching some of that.
Lose and fight your way back through and try to get another
So,
shot.
Jędrzejczyk, I don't know if you remember that Rose Namajunas fight, but the first fight, I mean, you want to talk about trash talking to a degree that's, that's almost a little on the edge of good morality was, how she acted towards Rose Namajunas. I don't know. It was a big story, actually. Like, it was almost like the schoolyard bully. Like, just, insulting her heritage, insulting where she came from, insulting her town, her style of people, race of people, yada, yada, yada. And but then she knocked her ass out.
What is she ranked? What's she ranked?
Jędrzejczyk?
Yes.
I'm going to guess 1.
Oh, really? She's the
1 or
number-
2. Well, yeah, since Rose Namajunas probably dropped down. Let's see. I'll tell you here.
I like to be in the know sometimes.
No, I'm wrong. She's actually the 5th ranked fighter fighting for the
Ooh.
title now. But rightfully so. I mean, she lost 2 fights to Rose Namajunas, then she lost another fight by a decision, and then she won her last couple. So, kind of back on top. A very dangerous fighter. When she was the champ, she was untouchable until Rose Namajunas.
Well, the strawweight fight and this weekend looks good too, with that Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhang Wiley.
We're so tough.
I'm so bad. Well,
UFC has so many diversities.
That's the fight
and
we're
it's
talking
so
about,
hard, man. It's so hard.
The strawweight. I thought
Yeah,
you said
that's
flyweight.
where
I thought you
Jędrzejczyk-
said
Is this a
flyweight.
pay-per-view event?
Jędrzejczyk. Yeah.
She's the one that Rose Namajunas beat twice, remember?
Yeah.
This is
And
a
then,
pay.
and then Zhang knocked out in brutal fashion Rose
Zhang
Namajunas.
looks good. I watched.
Oh,
some of
she's
her
tough,
training.
man.
Yeah.
This is a paid fight. You got to pay.
This is a pay-per-view,
It's not
yeah.
a free one.
Yeah, we got to cash in some bottles.
Yeah. We need a sponsor.
Now, I was watching some of the embedded series there for UFC 248, and Zhang looks good. She's training hard. She's ready. She said she's gonna knock her out. So we'll see.
So, guys, I want to switch topics for a minute.
Do it right now.
Couple weeks of your big day coming up for the NFL, the draft that we always look forward to. Unfortunately, I'm not looking forward to it because we don't have a fucking first-round back or draft pick to the Bears.
But free agency.
You got Khalil Mack.
You
Khalil
got
Mack,
free
so.
agency, and you could go get yourself a quarterback.
Yeah.
Get ourselves a couple.
I'm not giving up on Mitchie
playoffs.
yet.
Really?
Not yet. I'd give him one more year.
Dude, he could fuck up a wet dream.
I think he was hurt last year, all year.
Hurt his feelings.
Huh.
I do.
Really?
Anyway, my question is,
Turf toe.
who's going number 1?
What do you mean?
First pick's going to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Joe Burrow.
Agreed. LSU quarterback.
Well, yeah. Jesus.
They got to move on from Andy Dalton.
So that's what I'm saying. That was my whole point of you bringing this up, is the Bears right there, Andy Dalton.
Right.
To the Bears.
I'm not sure if that's a better offense or a better option.
Then Mitch Trubisky. Did you watch any of them games?
I
where
did,
he
but I
threw
also
the ball?
watched his first 2 years, and
he got lucky.
what he didn't
got
do
lucky.
is he didn't make the transition from year 2 to year 3 like everybody had hoped.
Yeah, but didn't they got rid of Robinson on him, right?
No, they have Robinson, but what the Bears did do is they got rid of Jordan Howard, and their offensive line was banged up. Wasn't a very good offensive line this year, and I say that because we only had 2 games out of 16 with a 100-yard rusher. That's not Bears football. Bears football is defense, run the ball, pass when you need to make a play.
But when you pass, you got to at least be able to hit a receiver.
Right.
And he
Right.
didn't. And he had a
He
lot.
had a lot of overthrows.
He had a lot of overthrows.
I'll give you that.
Because I watch. I'm not a Bears fan, but I watch.
Which is historically
I'm a Bears fan. I didn't follow this
uncharacteristic of him. And if you notice, the first 3 quarters of the season, he wasn't running the ball. And when he was successful, he's on the move, running the ball, averaging about 40, 50 yards a game. Averaged like 7 yards a game for the first 8 games before he got hurt.
And then they told him to pull the fucking ball and run it because you're not passing.
My point is, he was hurt. He was playing hurt, trying to be tough.
It might have been.
And
But
I'm just not ready to give up on it. I mean, of course, I want the Bears to do what's best for the Bears, but I wouldn't be butthurt if Mitch Trubisky got one more shot.
Well, he's going to get a shot. They're going to
hand,
give him a shot, but I'm saying they're going to bring someone in.
Kicker too.
They're going to bring someone in that's better than Chase Daniels to back him up.
Now, on the other hand, a couple free agents out there like Cam Newton.
What's wrong with Teddy Bridgewater?
Well, there's another. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be
I would
available.
like to see the Colts grab him, actually. So
I don't blame you.
I really would.
I think he's good. If his knee,
he was real good with the year, but before he got hurt, he was real good.
Yeah,
and then he went out and proved himself for 5 games, pretty good. I mean,
he came on off the cuff. He didn't expect to play a single down.
Right, he did pretty good. He won those games, and then he let Drew Brees come back and lose a couple, and a playoff game. So,
yeah, there's some money to be made for Teddy Bridgewater. I could live with him.
Teddy's out there.
I gotta believe Phillip Rivers is going to go somewhere. I don't think he's ready to retire yet.
He should. And your boy Jameis Winston's probably going to fucking hit the road.
Interesting about Jameis Winston, though, he's going to start somewhere.
And he threw 30 interceptions.
He threw 30 touchdowns, 30 picks, but he also threw 5,500 yards. So
he threw a lot.
He threw the ball a lot.
A ton.
And
because they had no good running back either.
He also threw the most pick sixes ever for any quarterback in a season. But, just got to think that can be improved on. I mean, there's only one stat that's negative, and that's the picks.
Usually, though, Ryan, when you come out your first 3 or 4 years, you're throwing more picks, and then you get rid of the picks.
Right.
It's meant, you know what I mean? You bring them down, now up.
Correct.
But he's headed the wrong way with that, at least. And Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is a hell of a coach.
So, but an offense that throws passing alone for 5,500 yards is an exciting offense.
Right.
30 touchdowns is a good year for touchdowns for a quarterback.
Imagine how many more yards he would have had if he only threw 15 interceptions.
Correct. Exactly. That's what how do you move on from him?
You kick him to the curb and you bring in one of these other guys that is free agent and see if they can. What's he been there 4 years and they haven't have they made the playoffs with him?
Should have twice.
Yeah, no, I don't believe they have, no.
And he's been there at least 4 years, right?
They've been close a couple times, but
close ain't nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean,
close is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Have those awesome seasons only to gut nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty tough. I mean, I'm just saying, there's a home for him somewhere in the NFL. It's pretty tough to throw 5,500 yards and 30 touchdowns regardless of interceptions.
Well, there's always a home.
You figure at least 5 or 6 of those picks weren't his fault.
Right.
Okay, then you're down to 24. He probably should have thrown 9 less.
Right. It's just like he.
How many ball games
instead of throwing?
Now, and don't forget though, they were always in the position, no matter how many yards he threw for or how many touchdowns he had, they were always in a position where he had to throw. Like he didn't have the luxury of being able to rely on a back that's going to run 120 yards. Yeah, so it's all on him, and he's doing it all with his arm.
But you can have the control to throw the ball away, or take it and run.
Yeah, right.
And take it and run. You can throw it. That's what makes them good quarterbacks good, because they know the Tom Brady's, the Drew Brees, the Aaron Rodgers, they're either going to run it. Tom Brady's not going to. Obviously, he's going to throw it away.
Well, Tom Brady is going to get rid of the ball in about 2.5 seconds. You know what I mean? And he will take the short. He'll take the short throw every
take
time.
What they give him,
unless he sees that he's got clear blocking. Then he'll step back and dump one. But
Well, you got to assess the field.
You know,
of course,
Right.
totally different style player. You know, like Tom.
Well, I think
Jameis
Jameis
Winston is
out
somebody
there.
who's going to be mobile in that pocket, can roll out, can move.
But
Tom
Aaron
Brady's
Rodgers and him
stepping
are the
back.
same, and I
Tom
said
Brady rushed for like 7 yards.
But
you
I
know,
said
like,
I also said Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is mobile.
Yes,
And
is.
he throws the ball away. He'll throw some interceptions, but he's not going to throw 30 because he thinks about what the fuck.
No, yeah,
It's really it's really an anomaly stat because it's so bizarre to see a guy that can play at that level. Because listen, I mean, it's near impossible to throw for 5,500 yards. You know, guys have done it, but you have like 1 or 2 guys a year that do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, the ability for him to be great is there. It's just I don't know what it is that he needs to. It is like a reality check, kind of like you said.
Well,
like
he doesn't make good
throw
decisions.
the ball away. You know.
Yeah, he tries to force. I've watched a bunch of it. He tries to force the ball a bunch too, and he's not a precision passer like Aaron Rodgers like that. So you can't fit them all in there like some of these guys can.
But one thing he is good at too, you have to admit this, is he's good at getting his best receivers the ball, and that's always a struggle for good quarterbacks. Is to get their best receiver
he's
continuously
got good
the ball.
receivers there.
He's got Mike Evans, Johnson.
He's got good Godwin. Godwin's
Godwin
good. He's
had a
up
great
and
year.
coming.
Great year.
I think it might have been his rookie or his second year. Their tight end, Jordan Howard, or is it Howard? His last name is not Jordan, but his last name's Howard.
The tight end
for Tampa Bay.
Well, there's 2. There's Cameron.
There's Brait, but
he
was like a first-round pick 2 years ago.
Oh gosh, why can't I think of who it is? It's
his last name's not Howard. I don't know then.
Well, O.J. Howard was kind of the disappointment of the team this year. He was expected to be the starting.
The first year he did real well.
Yeah, he really struggled this year. He did not find his groove for sure.
And then he
was that guy I always picked up in DraftKings, waiting for him to have his huge week. He just
Cincinnati. They're said that they're going to put the tag on their. Well, how old is he? 32-year-old. Their receiver there.
For Tampa?
No, I'm back to Cincinnati. They said they're gonna.
Oh, so AJ Green. So AJ Green will be a free agent. Most likely, is going to go somewhere.
They said they were gonna. I keep hearing they're gonna franchise tag him.
I don't think they can. I believe there's.
Why? Because he's got 10 years.
They can offer him a new contract, but I don't know.
I keep seeing that they're.
I would love to have AJ Green on the Bears. We do have $80+ million in free money to spend. It's not a bad place to spend it.
Right. They said Melvin Gordon's gonna test the waters for free agency. The running back from San Diego. Well,
I still have a hard time believing you're going to get rid of Phillip Rivers and Melvin Gordon.
Yes, you got Eckler.
You're really moving on.
Eckler's good.
Yeah, Eckler is good, but Melvin Gordon's still no joke. He was just hurt for a while, and he was awesome before he got hurt and fine afterward.
He should have just came in and played and sucked it up and got his money this year instead of sit out for 4 games. And now,
well, he held out too, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying. He held out. Yeah. So fuck him.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it too, like, hey, what have you done for me lately?
Right. They're gonna have some money to spend. They need a quarter. They got Lewis, right?
So
they got him, right? He played Lewis, their quarterback. I forget. He played for the Bills and brought him to the playoffs.
Well, I'm sorry. Your question is what? Say it again.
The only quarterback they really have on the roster
for the Bills?
No, for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Phillip Rivers.
No, he's gone.
Well, will be gone. Yep.
But they have Lewis. What's his front name? He played for the Bills. Brought him to the.
No, isn't it the guy that he played for Detroit, right?
No, for the Lions? Lewis, the guy that brought him to the playoffs, and they hadn't been in forever.
Emmanuel?
No.
Emmanuel Lewis?
No. That was E.J. Emmanuel.
Or E.J. Emmanuel?
I can't remember his first name.
A quarterback, you said?
Yeah, he brought the Bills to the playoffs, and they hadn't been there in forever. And then they let him go in free agency and drafted the cannon.
Oh yeah, who was that?
It's Lewis is his last name.
That makes me wish our sponsor was here. We forgot to thank our sponsor, Joseph Winter Janong,
be
caretaker and overseer of the #1 tourist attraction here in Tree City, USA, Norwich, New York, the Canasawacta Creek. Say it with me, guys. It's a great fucking creek.
Absolutely great. Sorry, you had me lost there on the football for a while, guys.
Well, we really got off on a tangent there, but so we're all in agreement that number 1 is going to be Joe Burrow. They're going to move on from Andy Dalton. I think that number 2 most likely would be
unless someone offers them a haul.
That edge rusher from Ohio State, Chase Young, I think is going to go to the Skins.
They're going to pick up Tula. That's what they're going to do. So you cannot have confidence in the quarterback that they Haskins. No way. If Tula's there, they're going to take him.
I know it's tough not to, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you just committed your whole franchise to Dwayne Haskins.
But listen, you're gonna let Haskins play and let Tula sit there. Case Keenum's gonna go out on the market and not even be there. So that's another the Bears could pick him up for a backup if Mitch falls off the face of the earth. Bring Keenum in. He's not that bad. He really did good that year with Minnesota when he had a team. He really did.
Fair enough, yeah.
He really did.
Yeah, he did.
He did really well. 10 or 11 wins, brought him to the playoffs. They beat the Saints, right?
Yep.
He's a good quarterback if he's got around him and the coaches are helping him, not hurting him like they did last year in Washington. The Washington, so they got the new coach, Rivera, and he wasn't there to have anything to do with drafting Haskins. He's got a pick. It's the second pick. If Tula's there, pick him up, let him sit. See, if Haskins goes out and has a hell of a year, you got 2 good quarterbacks. And that's not a bad thing to have. And they're both on a rookie contract. And you know what I mean? You could keep them for a couple years or trade.
It's plausible because they didn't win last year, so he has no room to renegotiate, his rookie contract. Whereas if they had went to the playoffs for, he would have been able to renegotiate his rookie contract.
Exactly.
Then there would be no way to afford. So now you can create a competition, and then you could trade virtually the other one away for money and another first-round draft pick. It's not a bad future plan. If you're just not sure, maybe they're seeing something that they just don't like the way Haskins fits in that offense. Anyway, since you're a Bears fan as well, going back to the quarterback controversy in Chicago, I think a good fit if Mitch was to get the axe, believe it or not, would be someone who they've talked briefly with is Derek Carr from the Raiders. And to me, that would be almost a little funny because that would mean John Gruden gave up his quarterback and his number 1 defender to Chicago.
I don't think he'll do that.
Well, the only way he would do that is if he signs one of these free agents or
there's talks. They're in talks.
What's in it for him? That's the question.
He's got to land.
He's not
going to drop David Carr and not have a quarterback.
He doesn't want to screw his team.
Exactly.
So
tough break for Gruden, though. Tough break if you look at it like that. If he loses Khalil Mack, loses Amari Cooper, and then if Derek Carr,
you're giving up, you're axing your team away.
Yeah. But he did turn that Raiders team around last year. They were close. They were a win away from making the playoffs.
Yeah, they could have.
And they had a couple games that they lost at
Derek Carr
second.
He never was the same after he broke that leg. I had said that before. If he comes back and he's hesitant or whatever from that broken leg, and he came back and he didn't bounce back like you would want. He was phenomenal up until he broke that leg.
He was subconscious.
So that quarterback I was talking about was Tyrod Taylor.
Yes, Tyrod Taylor. Nice. Yep. How could we forget him?
So he's what will basically be on the roster out there for the Chargers. So now go on to your topic. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's a good point. We couldn't,
I was just
couldn't think of who that was. So before I give you a little sports trivia, guys, we'll talk about an issue that's affecting the world. A little coronavirus.
Oh, I thought you were talking about winter.
Oh.
Coronavirus. Just because we say it doesn't mean we're
we
spreading
can't drink
it.
that fancy beer on here. So
I just want to know, can you
shit.
treat coronavirus with
Corona.
a flu vaccine?
Lime. I think you got to treat it with a lime.
Maybe.
Do you think it'll make them a little better? Maybe.
So
some aspirin.
So I saw they have a
Vitamin
guy,
B12.
the guy that had it in Illinois. He had it for over 2 weeks or whatever, and he's the first person that we have here.
In America.
Yes, that has got it and is all better now. Well, not. I mean, they say he tested. He doesn't have it anymore.
Gotcha. He made it
For
through.
2.5 weeks. Yes.
That's interesting. I did not hear that.
And he said the only symptoms he had from it, but he tested positive for it, was he had really really bad chest.
Like bronchitis kind of shit?
Yep.
Well, they say you could be a carrier, not even, show the symptoms yourself.
Right.
So that's a possibility. And the other thing is, too, it's a lot like influenza, where it attacks people with weak immune systems, older people, people maybe that,
it's not
Guys,
airborne.
This is a little interesting right here. The number of cases,
case.
the number of confirmed cases of the new coronavirus in New York
What about
State
the old one?
22.
just doubled to 22, with officials announcing 2 additional cases in New York City, 8 cases in Westchester County, and 1 in Long Island.
So here's the real thing, though,
Go ahead.
fellas.
What?
Do you realize that nobody has test kits? Like,
Only
this is like
77 labs, I believe. I've been following this a little bit.
yeah.
Not-
So like for example, like Shelly just went back to work at the hospital,
and they don't,
and
right?
She doesn't have any. They don't have any.
And
so,
even the labs that have it, sorry.
yeah, you'd have to qualify for like,
You have to meet certain
the
criteria.
doctor,
And
right.
even the tests that a lot of them have aren't working right, is from what I've gathered from what I've watched and read so far. Like, they have the tests. and
As
some
of
them-
today, Congress just agreed they passed $8.3 billion.
Yeah, emergency funding.
Yeah, that was a little
Mercy
more
fund,
than
yeah.
the original call from the administration.
somebody's
It's
pocket.
like 2.5, and they were like,
Well,
"What?"
the question
I
is,
heard Pence talk earlier, and he had doubt, and he realized that it's going to be a little more difficult to get around this virus than they thought, or
Yeah.
than
They
they
had
wanted
hoped.
people. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Goddamn
and like I said, the
Democrats.
problem is, though, I
No,
think there
he's-
is a little bit of overreacting going on,
He's-
too. I mean, they're talking about shutting down the school for a month. If
yeah.
there's,
They shut down 13
they're
of them in Washington.
No, they're talking about here in Norwich.
Well,
Yeah,
Oxford.
if there one case
They will
if
close
one
for
case
1
yeah
month.
if one case arises, they will close for
They're-
1 month.
Well, here's-
I mean,
and
they don't do that
scrub.
with influenza. They don't
Guys,
do that with influenza. I mean,
if you think
they don't do that
about-
with pneumonia, they don't do that with bronchitis. They don't do that with all the
Yeah, but
the
hold on,
illnesses
though.
that actually kill people.
But here's the thing, though, is that this one is
Measles.
so highly contagious
Yeah,
that
but it's
literally,
it's not any more deadly.
well, it is. It's the
it's
2%. So if you
Yeah.
look at like a situation where
same-
everybody's gonna get it,
But what
So,
about-
like, say-
not everyone is going to get it.
2% of the population, and then no, I'm
So
saying
you're saying if 100 kids got it in a school, 2 kids are going to die.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's-
And if you
That's
go to
skewed,
100
though,
million,
because that's also considering out of that 2%. Usually that 2% is people that are weak, sick, have other pre-existing illnesses. So you can't say out of 100 naturally healthy people. It's out of 100
Right, but I mean, I
people,
think a
general
school is a
population.
fair
No,
ground to say
because
there's
a lot
all
of those-
types. There's
no,
weak kids, there's strong
no,
kids,
no,
there's kids with
because-
disabilities.
Yeah,
there's,
it's not-
This is
I mean,
an
it's all
Oscar
over the
Mayer
board,
commercial.
you know.
This
Like,
is not because
for
those
sure.
kids are in a hospital somewhere, like St. Jude's or something like that. They're not in school walking around because they're not that healthy. That's my point. So the ones that are going to catch it aren't the healthy kid that's running around today and dead tomorrow.
Well, even a healthy kid could catch it, but it
Could
might
catch
not
it. He's
kill
gonna
him.
Probably survive.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my
Yes.
point.
Yes.
right? No, but my
yes.
point is there are like
It's like mononucleosis.
in school there's all kinds of kids that needs assistance.
No, I get
that are,
that,
you
but
know.
that- but
no, it's but it is a.
not. I'm talking autoimmune
So-
deficiencies. and
But
things
you'd say like it because if it affects children and old people more, then obviously that 2% rate would go up if you went into a school or if you went into an old age home
Well, true.
than it would
I
just
don't
the
know so
general
much as a
people.
school, but I agree with
So
old
so
age
but
homes.
but I'm just saying on the point of numbers, like sometimes numbers are so big that you don't even fathom it, but it's like so 350 million people, 2% of them die. I mean, take the odds wherever you want. Say 1%, cut it in half because they're saying it's a 2% death rate, right? If you get it, it's a 2% death rate. Like the flu
Well, that's
is like
also based on all the ones.
the
that
flu is like
worldwide.
0.2 or something
Right,
like that,
right.
It's
or
also
0.1.
worldwide, and China too. Don't forget, they're factoring all the stuff from earlier.
Well, wait.
before they
Just
even
just
had,
to correct Ange, so that's true as of today. But when the flu first came out, it was pretty much the parallel situation. It's everybody panicked.
I don't
people-
even get
you
the
know.
flu shot.
we eventually
I don't either,
developed
but,
the cures, the vaccines,
I'm
or
But the
whatever.
I'm
flu
not
is
against
not like the
antibiotics.
measles.
So, like-
I'd
Right.
get those. Like I'd get
Right.
measles, but the flu, it's kind of different. I don't know the
Listen,
way
I'm
I
not,
see
I'm
it.
not anti.
This
Yeah,
thing is going to
vaccine.
peak before it goes down. It's just it hasn't peaked everywhere yet.
But here's my thing: is what I'm saying
I
is
pray
that
to God that we don't know, none of us or anybody we know.
No, and I'm not
gets
taking it
this.
impersonable.
It doesn't sound fun, you know.
No.
No, I'm not taking it the wrong way. I'm not looking into it like a serious or like, oh, that's those people over there and it's not us or it's not me. But at the same time, you know, does really shutting down a school, is really fucking up the logistics of the country really going to fix it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
they're
Is that
listen.
really going to
Their
solve
point
it?
is that they're trying to they want
exposure.
Yeah, but they don't want it to spread. Like they're
Yes.
trying to stop. If it gets in
They're
there one,
trying to
they don't
kill
want
it.
the fucking whole school to have it, even if it doesn't kill them.
Right,
They don't
I
want
get
the
it, I
whole.
get it.
They don't want the
I
whole
get it.
school to have it, because then they're all gonna pass it, and then
No, I get that.
before they get something where they know they can.
Well, listen, it's
Zap it,
it's
you know what
also
I mean?
logistics.
Yeah.
Why that is, because it's not like, as even though the symptoms and such are like a common cold, initially or whatever, and some people the symptoms worsen and it can be fatal. It's not. There's no cure for it yet. So
Right.
if you infect an entire school, well, there's no cure for it yet.
There's
so
no
how
cure
do you?
for a lot of shit? You
Right.
just gotta let it run its course. I mean,
Right,
that's
It's
exactly.
a virus. There
Exactly.
isn't
You
cures
get-
for viruses.
There's-
They all
right.
have to run
Right.
their
That's what I
course.
mean. You get strep throat. I don't go to the fucking hospital because you know why? They're just gonna give you shit to make you feel
But
better.
you
It
don't-
doesn't actually
Right.
fix the cold.
But you don't
I
want
don't
to.
take shit to make me feel better. I take it if it's gonna fix me. Otherwise, I tough it out and I deal with
But
it.
you don't want the whole town to be sick.
No,
is
no,
all
but
the-
I don't know if the whole town's gonna be sick. Or they're
Right.
they're gonna be unemployed.
I mean,
They go
eventually you
fucking-
hope there is a vaccine or something for it.
Well, again,
You know what I mean?
highly contagious. I believe the contagion of it is worse than the flu.
Right.
Well, then that might be the case.
Like it
That's what I'm
lives-
I
saying.
think
They're
it
Like
just
if you
worried
cough-
about like.
You're still gonna get contagious because you know what? People aren't gonna lock themselves in the house for months. You're still gonna go out. You're still gonna interact with people. You're still gonna go to fucking Wally World.
But by shutting down a school, not every kid's gonna get it. Is
Right now in New York,
Only
there is
20 of them will get it.
2,773 New Yorkers right now in New
And there's
York
13
who are
million of them.
quarantined.
Right, and it's 13
Who are
million
quarantined.
motherfuckers.
and I'm eating nuts.
Which
Yeah.
means they tested positive.
Most of them have recently
Right.
traveled to one of 5 countries where the outbreak has been most severe, including China, Italy,
I got
Iran,
pecans.
South Korea, and Japan.
And walnuts.
Vitamin B12, baby.
I've been eating my nuts.
No, I'm not taking it serious.
here's a twist. One of the people,
lightheartedly or nothing.
one of the people is a healthcare worker.
My wife's going
Exactly.
crazy.
Did visit Iran, so
Well, let's put it this way: my wife is going crazy right now.
But how
at her
about the
work
guys
with
in
this thing.
Cali that didn't
right?
run into
Because that's
anybody?
a large place. So there's a lot of people that work
Well,
there.
and her job is risk.
Risk analysis.
She
right?
is cybersecurity, information security, and risk for the bank and whatnot. And she has to think of it. Anytime there's a flood, there's a fire, there's power outages, major storms, road closures, highway. She has to have measures in place because there's different federal laws that you have to have. You can't close a bank for more than 3 days in a row. It's against the law. You know what I mean? Like without FCC or OCC regulation, so there's a lot more that I don't understand how she's doing. But like it's consuming her day 24/7. This stupid virus that she can't focus on other stuff that's quite important as well.
even locally,
People are fighting over freaking masks at work.
no kidding.
Well,
Like,
there's a
really?
factor too, as they talked about, like the advice from mask is you don't put a mask on unless you have it.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, you're actually hogging all the masks. They only make so many of them,
You're
and
right,
it's like
man.
everybody's
That's
running
funny.
in on the shelves and just grabbing masks, and then
it's-
people that actually need them
Yeah.
don't have them.
Yeah,
so they
and to wear the mask, it's so you don't give it to other
Exactly.
people.
right instead of like you're not going to protect yourself.
You're not at all.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
more. It's so I was reading too. It's not airborne.
A mask is
It's more of
in
a-
this case the mask
Now,
is
I
like
thought
the
one guy did catch
the
it.
mask is like the oxygen that drops down in a plane. It's really only to make you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, you're still gonna
Is it-
crash.
does
Yeah, you're
Just so
done.
you don't
If that
pass out
thing
before you
comes out,
die.
you're
Yeah.
fucking done.
So you don't pass out.
They want you to live till you hit the ground.
Yeah, that's it.
Hold that air
Well, they just don't
mask.
want you to panic and jump around.
Right.
Oh, look at these nice yellow solo cups. Let's play pong on the way.
They
down.
tell you to duck your head and the
Kiss your ass goodbye.
The fetal position. I'm like, dude, if you crash, you're crashing into concrete.
Yeah.
Put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye. They always say. No,
That's
but you're
right.
right. It's a big deal, and I'm not saying it isn't.
No, it is.
I
It is. It's
remember,
something we gotta
uh,
take seriously.
I
But
don't know. If
We
got
got to
to
bring up a lighter side with the
All
movie.
right.
Remember the movie Airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they said
Striker.
assume crash position.
Yeah.
Is that the dude with the old guy sniffs glue on her?
And they're like, get a hold of yourself. And
Yeah, I like
everybody's
when they
slapping and they got a
glue-
line with people.
They put it. Oh yeah, they keep going down the line. Then they do the autopilot, and it's a big inflatable pilot.
Yeah. And she's going down on him in the one spot.
Oh, shit. Striker.
I just want y'all to know we're all counting on you.
So, anyways, yeah, let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's hope we don't have to go through all this
Pandemic?
well, not even that. I don't. That's the wrong word. The word I mean,
Epidemic?
Just all this, closures and
Well, we hope it.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, they've been
Obviously, if
closing
it comes to that, it's got to be
Chicago
serious.
State, they canceled a bunch of games out there. Like
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Canceled
you literally could
Arnold
quarantine
Open.
a town. Like everybody has to stay at their homes. They can't go to work. Like
China did.
that's like the worst case scenario. Like almost like the movie The Stand. Remember that movie, Ange?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we talked about
so
that. When
eventually, you can't leave your house.
Huh. I didn't
How
see
do
that one.
if they do that? How do people get food? How do you
I don't think. Well,
saw
they just
Stand By
can't
Me,
make you.
though.
How are
Yeah.
they gonna make you? They can't go out and chase you down because then they're exposing. It's like it's counterproductive.
Well, in
think
China,
you
they
just
just
gotta
shoot
use
you, I
smart-
think.
Well, I don't know.
Ting.
I wouldn't. I mean, maybe it's just because I've seen too many movies. If it really came down to a scenario like that,
You were
I mean,
watching Outbreak
you don't be
again?
shocked to see the military almost.
No.
I would have to, right? I mean,
Yeah, you're not gonna. You can't go in every town. There's not enough military. I was in the military.
well, not every
I'm
town.
not gonna do
wait,
I'm
you're
gonna-
you're going way far to the extreme.
They're
I'm
gonna
just
call
saying.
you back.
I'm saying one town
They're
gets
gonna-
the
your
infection
phone's
so
gonna
bad,
ring.
so they
There's no
they
such thing
quarantine
as,
a town.
There's no such thing as just one town. There's no fence around the town. So it's like these people
They
here,
create
those
one.
people there.
Yeah, unless
those people
where
there.
we live, where it's like the towns are sectioned off.
Shit, we don't
but,
even
like,
have a
nah.
highway in Norwich for like 30 miles, dude.
No, but my point is-
They
my
can blow
point
up the
is,
bridges and
there's
trap
no-
us
Yeah,
in.
We're
be
running to the
fucked, man.
quarry.
My point
Quarry.
is, there's no way you can guarantee that you're quarantining off a whole town.
They can.
You know what I mean?
They
Because you
can.
can't be here when someone else is there. I mean,
Bullets.
you can't be everywhere at one time.
They can block the bridges. No way out, Gino.
I mean, like I said, I've seen
I'm
seen
not a
too many
conspiracy
seen too
theorist
many
person.
movies. But what if it was something that bad? I mean,
You know, and back to
Christ.
the military.
If it gets that bad, fucking grab your ass, fucking. Whew.
And-
all right, guys, it's trivia time. You ready?
Yeah, let's trivia it out before I get on a tangent.
Yeah. Oh, you.
I was about to get
before you
rolling.
get.
I was about to get some military shit going here.
I
I'm
felt-
not gonna
yeah.
do that.
I did because I
Let's not get you
I tried
going.
lightly, Gino, because I didn't want you to think that
I heard
love
you
them. I
yelling
love our
that
military.
that
and,
night you were
Oh,
driving.
no,
I didn't want you
but
to think
I'm
I
just
was going. I'm just saying the
They're
what
not,
the
they're
what
not a
if
bunch
factor.
of they're not a bunch of robots that just
all we're
assume
supposed to
every
know.
command is yes, Sergeant. You do
Right.
as I say. I
Right.
must
Right.
You know how many times I told sergeants to go fuck themselves, and I'm not doing that
Yeah.
because it doesn't make sense. I mean, you got to do things tactfully, but it's like your boss. You don't 100% of the time agree with the guy.
Right.
You say, are you sure you want to do that? Does that really sound logical, sir?
Yeah.
Do you really think that's going to work? Are you really going to shoot babies and children? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. We all have
Yeah.
a soul. We all have a moral.
Well, they did. It's unprecedented since like McCarthyism, right? Or
Right.
whatever.
I was
But
in the
they did.
military.
But they did bomb that when all the veterans. That was like the 50s or whatever. But
What,
they
Hiroshima?
all set up on D.C. and wanted their benefits, and they rolled in with tanks and fucking blasted them.
Oh, yeah, that's people that might. Yeah,
I mean, that was the 50s. That was like when
That
it was
that
like
was a very small.
when that was a big
that's
time.
riot control. That's what that is.
Well, that
That's
was
riot
right,
control.
but it was
Well,
where
look,
but they brought in the military.
Yeah.
Our military's
National
killed before.
Guard.
We
And
know-
so
we know
it
that.
They
was-
did that at Kent College. It
Let-
killed 4 of them, right?
Right, but I mean, it's just a
National
way
Guard.
different. In Gino's defense, it's a
National
way
Guard.
different story from saying we're sending in a team to kill
Extract
a
weapons from everyone
terrorist
in
so we can
America.
kill no more
Oh, right,
Americans.
right.
Good
Then
luck with that.
sending in a team to say we have to turn on our countrymen, relatives,
Yeah,
brothers,
yeah, yeah.
sisters, friends.
Yeah. And I'm only I'm only signed up for this
Yeah.
for 2 years too, and I'm gonna
Right.
fuck
What?
up my whole life.
Like the
Right.
Civil War.
Right, right.
Like the fucking Civil War.
Well, that's
Well,
okay.
that was signed up for. That
in
was
2020. We'll just have to say that we've made progress. Okay,
The
All right.
Civil War was
from the 1800s.
was
I mean, Jesus.
People,
Or from the
Oh, I know it.
1950s.
It was
Or from
terrible.
the 1950s even.
But they grouped up. They said we're gonna do this. It's not like someone's telling me I'm gonna do something.
Well, they started at the end though. The
Government
Rebs,
will only kill you if you try to talk about
The
aliens.
Rebs were pulling them in at the end though. They were running. They were the losing
are
cause.
out
or if
there,
you
just so you know,
or
I
if
know
you
for
can
sure.
rally the people,
You
they'll
always
take
have
you
to.
out too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, boys, you ready?
So,
Let's do it.
Trivia.
what do you got?
It's an odd Thursday night.
All right, after retiring as a player, which team did the baseball great Babe Ruth spend 1 year as a coach?
What? Wait, I'm sorry.
Brooklyn Dodgers.
The Brooklyn Dodgers won for Josh. Which famous golf player is named Lefty?
Phil Nicholson.
Phil Mickelson is correct.
2 for Josh. Wow.
On fire.
You guys better catch up here.
I'm not catching nothing.
All right, in what year was the first female referee ever featured in an NFL game?
18?
2018.
Incorrect.
19?
2006.
17.
Higher.
17.
2012 is the answer. Still 2-0 Neats.
We were within 10 years. Should have counted.
Here's an
Did you say,
interesting one,
wait,
guys.
was that NFL or NBA?
Ask me a
NFL.
pop culture one.
All right. In 2014, which NBA player set the all-time record for the most missed field goals?
2000 what?
14.
I thought-
Was Shaq retired by then?
They kicked the
wasn't.
ball? I didn't know they kicked the ball in basketball. That's crazy.
He throws.
No, most missed field goals. Well, I got you, Ange. Sorry, it took me a minute.
I don't know, but that music's loud.
It was a little jab at Cody Parkey, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Music a little loud?
Give me a pop culture one, man. You got any of those?
Switch it up, Buttercup.
We didn't finish. We didn't get the answer to that.
We're not gonna, apparently.
God rest his soul, it was Kobe Bryant.
All right. Well, that's fucked up. Why would you even? All right, go ahead. What do you got?
So
What do you
much
mean,
for that,
man?
That's all
Ryan.
right.
His legend lives on. We're going to talk about him forever.
We could have
God
waited.
love
Coronavirus.
Kobe.
We
And
could have
then
waited 3 months.
We went from the coronavirus to a high note of Kobe Bryant's.
Yeah,
It's
great.
passed.
All right. So, all right, pop culture. Ange wants about 10 pop culture.
When you say pop culture, Ange, give me an example.
The 80s.
No, pop culture would be anything to do with basically like
Anything-
movies,
TV shows. in
TV
the 80s.
shows.
We'll go back to the 80s, early 90s.
Things that, music,
Things that are
movies,
cool to most
music,
people.
entertainment, art,
Yeah.
things that have sculpted our culture as far as the
Why
way
you
we
think
talk.
Ronald Reagan was a douche?
When we say things
Shit like that.
"What's up?"
What
shit like that.
Wasabi.
Like it all started from one thing,
Whatever happened to the Bud Bowl? Shit like that.
Yep. Whatever happened to Spuds McKenzie?
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Here we go.
Malibu. Oh.
Malibu. Where's the beef, bitch?
Yep.
Got to get the music.
Shit like that. Wendy's.
Yep.
Where's the beef, Marge?
Yeah.
You want pop culture, you got it. What are the 2 best-selling pop albums of all time?
Oh Lord!
Oh,
I guess
Michael
it would
Jackson. Michael Jackson.
Thriller.
Yes, that's one of them. Thriller.
Michael Jackson's Thriller and
Prince.
Adele.
Fly like a...
Fly like a...
Oh, Seal.
No.
Wait.
What? Fly like an
I was
eagle.
trying to give you a hit. Yes, the Eagles,
The
their
Eagles.
greatest hits.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're
That's
pop?
Steve Miller Band. You
Yeah,
go fly
you-
like
yeah, fly like an eagle.
To the sea.
Oh well, I got double pop culture because I called the Steve Miller
Got
Band
double
on that
vision.
song.
All right, who produced and performed in the 1989 Batman soundtrack that included
Prince.
hits? Yes.
Oh, don't even.
Good job. All right, in pop, we're 1 for Neats, 2 for Ange. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little hard. All right, this singer had 2 very popular duets with Rihanna. Who is Marshall Bruce Mathers III, better known as?
Eminem.
Come on.
I'll give that one to everyone. I have to give it.
8
All right,
Mile.
who's the author that wrote Jurassic Park?
Same guy wrote number 2.
What the fuck is Jurassic Park?
Oh shit, man! I didn't.
Is that a ride or something?
Jurassic Park,
John,
the movie?
Oh.
Jesus.
John,
Where have you been the last
I
30
didn't
years?
watch that. But did you see it?
I don't know. man.
Michael
Bits
Crichton.
and pieces.
Yeah, we didn't see
Oh,
it.
Crichton or
None of the couch guys saw that fucking.
the author Michael Crichton?
I'm
Okay.
hurting
He's the
today,
one that
man.
actually
I'm
wrote
very uninformative.
Jurassic Park.
I didn't see Jurassic Parks.
None
I
of
was-
them.
I was.
No.
I'm silent tonight.
Did not watch them.
I don't have much input.
I mean,
All right, which hit single went to #1 in the U.S. in 2012 after an internet meme went viral with the song causing
Gangnam
a
Style?
national scandal?
Gangnam Style.
Oh, it's not Gangnam Style.
Same kind of song, Harlem
National
Shake.
Ah.
Harlem And inconsequently, I play that at Y Dances from time to time. There's actually no words to it.
Oh, never heard it.
Never
Well,
heard
yeah,
of
I'm sure maybe, but
Who was Kim Kardashian's second husband?
Kanye West.
Chris Humphries.
Oh, yeah,
So
like
she had a
90
third
90
husband?
That was like the 90-day dude.
no, it's the wrong Kardashian.
Oh,
All right, here's a
sorry.
tough one. This band was a one-hit wonder. They had a 1995 hit named Breakfast at Tiffany's. Can you name this band that started in Texas?
Oh, Marcy's Playground.
Nope,
No, you're same kind of band.
Close,
but-
huh?
it wasn't Gin
at
Blossom. It
Tiffany's.
was
Nope.
like yeah, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. If you were out in the ocean, and some people you would say you are in the
Ocean. You are in the
See,
not the shallow end, but the
deep
deep
end.
end. The deep. Fuck, I don't know, man.
Deep Blue something is the name of the
Deep
band.
Blue.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
terrible.
I tried to.
That's a
Yeah.
tough one. I really didn't ever remember
Yeah.
that name.
I
It's
remember
like
the
One hit
song.
wonders, baby. One hit wonders.
Remember the one that was like the white teas or something? What'd
Yeah.
they do?
Yeah.
All right, what product?
Delilah.
What
Delilah,
product
yeah.
did Mr. Whipple ask you to squeeze from 1964
Charmin,
to
baby.
1985? Charmin is correct. Gino,
Give him
you're
a little
on
squish.
the
Fuck
board.
yeah.
Good job, Gino.
He
On the
gave me the
board.
answer ahead of time.
Fed him the answer. No,
That's
we got
it.
it. We got you on video,
He
man. We didn't
texted
see
me.
anything pass.
Texted. Yeah, I'm hurting today. I'm weak
McDonald's
today.
has used the slogan. Sorry, Josh.
Jesus
Is that loud in
fucking
here?
A.
McDonald's
hear
has used the
himself talk.
slogan "I'm loving it" since 2003. What superstar and former boy band member did they use to record the vocals for the jingle?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Bieber.
Timberlake is
Ah.
correct. You do know your pop trivia, Wildcat.
Hey, man.
How many
Insane.
times was Elizabeth Taylor married?
8.
7.
8 is correct.
8. Damn.
Gino the
Gino
Guns
I
Granada.
was
scores
at
a
9,
2.
but the bitch died.
Yep.
You want to know who they were? Conrad Hilton,
Burton was one of
Michael
them.
Wilding, Mike Todd, Eddie Fisher, Richard Burton, John Warner, and Larry Fortensky.
Oh, Larry
Ooh.
killed her.
Couple studs right there.
Yeah.
A
Burton
stack
was
of
for
studs.
Sure. Yeah,
What
stack.
U.S. newspaper
Stack
is
of
currently
studs.
second in U.S. circulation and is nicknamed the Gray Lady?
The Post?
Nope.
Times?
The Times is correct.
Need 'em. Coming through.
Got
Got another one.
On the board again.
You wanted pop
All right, let's see if you know
culture,
your
we got
movies
it.
that this woman was in. The superstar played cinematic characters named Annie Porter, Gracie Hart, Harper Lee, and Scarlett Overkill. Who was she?
You son of a gun.
Do you have like is there an error?
Toss us a
era?
movie.
Like no a date. Like one of her movies was in what year? One movie was in
She had a bunch
1972.
of, not bunch of them between 2000 and 2010.
I don't know. Halle Berry,
She was also the victim of a break-in.
Jodie Foster. I don't have a clue.
Oh,
She was in the movie where she was a police officer and had to uncover the scandal that the two kids.
I still
Together.
don't have a fucking clue.
You're
better
not talking
just-
about
Keanu
what's-
Reeves, and she was with Keanu Reeves in Speed.
Speed? Yeah, I know. I can't think of her name. Paula.
Butlick.
Butlick. Sandra Bullock.
Butlick.
Sandra
Annie Porter,
Bullock.
which
She was
was
married to Jesse James.
Annie Porter.
She was in the.
Sandra Bullock.
She was married to Jesse James from West Side Choppers or whatever
Yeah.
it is. West Coast Choppers.
Yes.
You know that Bird Box? That was a.
Then
piece
they
of
broke
shit
up
I
because
didn't
he
watch
hooked
it.
up with a porn star.
Yeah,
while
he was
met
fucking that.
her.
Everybody went fucking
Jameson or
crazy over
somebody.
that Bird Box movie, and
Never
that
saw
I
it.
never saw. I heard it sucked.
Oh God! But the thing was, that everybody, it was all over Facebook. Oh, greatest! Oh, movie was so awesome. And then I watched
you
it, and I
think?
was like,
You were-
what?
Yeah, you were set up.
Rhino?
You were set up.
What was Bird? What do you rate it as? 5
Bird Box?
stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, no star. One?
I was pissed at Bird Box.
I was a little pissed.
3 stars,
The
4 star?
concept was cool, but
So rate it for me. I and Gino did not watch this particular.
It was like the same feeling as watching
Nah,
Speed.
that's
Right.
the
It
one-
was like so annoying. It was so ridiculously like.
Is
But
that the one with the
Speed-
blindfold?
But Speed,
yeah,
yes.
they had to wear,
blindfold.
kids had
But
to wear
Speed
blindfolds.
was like a '90s, like a whole different, like you're
That
not.
was an
You
adventure.
were a younger guy and stuff.
That
like,
was action
But like the
thriller.
basic
Well, and also
concept
Speed
of-
was a great movie when it first came out too. You know, like
action
Well,
thriller.
that's what I'm saying.
you
Bird
watch
Box
it now.
was like
I mean, it's lacking in effects and all that. but-
Well, yeah, but it was boring as fuck. Like Ann
no,
said.
it was
Riding on a
beyond
bus,
boring. It was
fucking-
so
Wait, Speed? Are you talking about? Which movie are you talking about, Ange?
yeah, it was so unbelievable. And the acting
Oh, yeah,
was
for
so
sure.
ridiculous, and
Over the top.
you know, the
It
way
was-
that
It was Keanu Reeves' attempt at being Bruce Willis.
yeah, the
But
whole
oh Jesus,
the concept of the show. No, he's actually Keanu Reeves has went on to become the greatest
It's
Right.
the
action
storyline.
guy
It's the storyline.
between
Well,
Matrix and these new
He's
like
no Jason
John Wick.
Statham.
Yeah,
is he?
John
Come
Wick.
on now.
No, like
I
he
like
is. He
Keanu.
is up there with those
He's
guys
legit,
as far
man.
as like.
Jason Statham is
He's
a
better than
fucking-
Tom
He's
Cruise.
got some big hits.
I like him better than
He's
Tom
made
Cruise.
his money for sure.
I think he'd do better than any.
You
Tom
know
Cruise
what's
movie.
also cool about Keanu Reeves is that
He's a regular person.
he didn't sell out, and
Oh.
he was a guy that almost should have been like kind of blacklisted from because he didn't accept like role or something. I remember recently watching something on this, and it was interesting because they couldn't stop him as far as he went on to make so many movies, but they were all independent and they were by his his rules
Standards, yeah.
Yeah, so he never had
Matrix,
to
great trilogy.
sell out to
Well,
the
and he
to
still
the
travels
scene.
the subway. He still bumps into people. He's
I've never
he's-
seen
but-
The Matrix.
But I have
Never
to
seen The Matrix? Oh, you
Nope.
got to give that a watch.
I
That's
think
a-
the John
that's a
Wick
good trilogy.
movies are horrible as
The
well.
first one is the
But
best
I
out of
do
the
like Keanu Reeves, but I just can't stand
Oh,
those
see,
fucking movies.
people tell me those John Wick movies are great.
I've never watched those either.
Number one.
I
the other
still have
day.
not watched those either.
I almost watched number one because I keep hearing the rumbles. People
It's
tell
just
me,
that it's
"Oh,
a
man."
weird concept because it's
Oh.
all about a guy that's like the ultimate assassin that's like
But he's
retired.
been blacklisted by the
Oh.
by the.
Well, but the whole start of the thing is like he's a dude that like
No, I'm not even gonna watch it.
some guy comes to see him, right? And the
Yep.
guy's like kind of a dick and aggressive and he's connected and
Yeah.
and doesn't know who John Wick is, he's the retired old guy. But then the scene elevates and all of a sudden the dude like kills his dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the whole storyline is about him taking revenge because of the guy killing his
But
dog.
he's going out of boundary to do it.
So
and
then he
they're
ends up
like, yeah.
killing like the entire group of underground, bosses because his dog got killed.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because
And-
they basically put a bounty on him in return to go after. Yeah.
Oh, so you saw it?
I saw parts of it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I just like I heard a lot
The,
about
the fight scenes are insane. They're
That's why
awesome,
I
but it's
watched
like
it.
right, and that's why a lot of people love it. But for me, it's like the storyline is so lacking, and
it's
like
lame, yeah.
and what leads up to the next moment, and the little one-liners like
That was
you
the hard
killed
part
my
for
dog,
me to, yeah, that was
and
the
it's
hard
like
part
come
for me to
on,
follow.
yeah. But yeah, the action scenes are pretty awesome.
Well, 'cause
Except for like all those movies, they're kind of dark, and you're like, it's cool,
Right.
but it's not like
Too many
watching a freaking
angles.
awesome UFC fight.
No, all these different angles and replays of the same shot from like 3 camera angles and slow mos and freeze
Yeah.
frames and shit like that. But they said like the weapons handling and all that stuff was really
Right,
on
legit,
point.
and he does his own like all that
Stunts?
choreographed
So-
fighting, which is pretty
I wanted to check that
impressive,
out. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
All right, one
Yeah.
more trivia question for
We'd
you
love
guys.
a couple more, actually.
You want a couple more? All right.
Yeah.
What is the real first name of Marilyn Monroe?
Norma Jean.
Norma Jean. And what was her last name?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
DiMaggio.
Granada.
Granada is correct.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Of course he knew
Just
that
kidding.
one.
I'm fucking with you.
Could be.
Her last name was Mortensen.
She
Yeah.
didn't change it when she got married to Joe. She was married to Joe DiMaggio, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Except
And
for
J-
she was
she-
fooling
J-
around
and she
with
was
old,
fucking
JFK.
old Johnny.
My favorite
Johnny.
president.
Listen. Hey.
Who insisted through the 1980s that girls just want to have fun?
Of
Amen.
course,
Cyndi
that was
Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper, yes. Which U.S. artist is known as the King of Pop?
Michael Jackson.
And Madonna won a Golden Globe Award for which movie?
Not League of Their Own.
Evita.
Avita.
Who was the first American Idol? 2002.
Carrie Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly
is correct.
Clarkson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly.
And you know what else?
Tell me.
She's sold more albums than the Beatles.
I
You
was
might
just-
be able to look that up.
I was just going
Wow.
to say that.
Okay.
Here's one for you. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake all used to be singers and presenters of what?
The Disney,
Romper Room.
Disney thing.
What's that little romper,
Oh.
right?
Come on, you got to do better than that.
Mickey Mouse Club.
That's it. Mickey Mouse Club. Mickey.
And then
Oh, you
Alanis
Gotta do
Morissette
better than
was
he
in
does.
the You Can't Do That on Television.
Ah, yes, the
Oh.
Green Slime.
The Green Slime
Ooh,
Show.
damn.
Britney Spears had a middle name. What is it?
What? She had a middle name?
She has a middle name. What is
Oh, Brittany Jean.
it? Brittany Jean is correct.
Fucking
What
A.
is Justin Timberlake's middle name?
Don't know.
I
Alan.
No.
Bobby.
Not him.
Christopher.
Bobby. Chad.
He's one of the brothers in Hatfields and McCoys.
Kyle.
Hatfields and McCoy's one of the
What
brothers.
the fuck?
Trying to give you a hint. Have you ever seen Hatfield and McCoy?
Yeah,
but
but
we
which
didn't-
one? The
what brother? There's
Kevin
18 brothers.
Costner
The one that gets killed.
Paxton?
That narrows it down.
Dave?
The one that starts the war. Randall.
Randall.
That was my
That's
second
great
guess.
that you broke that down. Are you talking about? Did you see that one? The maybe mini-series version that was
Yes.
Kevin
Yeah, that's what, I'm
Costner.
Yeah.
talking, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
was
about.
dude,
good.
that was a sick movie. That was really good.
Wasn't Paxton or that Paxton guy?
Actually, I
Yeah.
think it was Randall McCoy. Actually, now that I think about
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
either
yeah.
way,
But
sick movie. That was
Yeah,
good.
it was
I
good.
like that. See, I like that movie. I don't like
I loved
John Wick. I like. Yeah.
That bared some truth to it, though.
Yeah, a lot of truth.
You know, I mean,
Some
it's always
farces, probably.
Well,
it's
remember-
always fantasized in Hollywood, but at the
Right.
same time,
They always bend it.
Well, remember in the very end, it was cool because when they were rolling the credits, they said like 92 members of both families signed like an official peace treaty that they were like, it's over.
you got it.
In like
man.
today, though, like in modern day, they
You
were
got
like,
to.
no more.
You know, you're only at this point. You're only doing it because it's U.S. folklore.
Yeah.
You know, and why are you angry anymore for that? You know,
They
Yeah.
killed a pig. Somebody
Yeah.
stole a pig or
Why-
killed a pig.
Why are they screwing their cousins?
right?
Fucking.
That's
all right.
it, man.
So
Michael Balzeri of the Red Hot Chili Peppers is better known as what?
Flea.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
job.
Gave it
He
away.
didn't even give me a chance.
You guys are way smarter than
He's
me.
the only guy.
Gino didn't give me a chance.
What
to talk.
is R&B star Ashanti's surname?
Mister.
I don't know, but I like the 80s and 90s.
I don't think you'll get this one.
Culture.
Douglas.
Yeah,
Better.
I'm
Oh,
not.
Dougie.
Well, I'm not hip with the anything
Alright.
past 2000.
Old Doug Ashanti.
First commercial radio station ever in the United States was called what?
WPIX Cincinnati.
No, that was a good guess.
Haha.
I don't.
Sonic
it's with
Gardens
W, though,
Radio.
right?
Sonic Gardens Radio is correct.
Yeah. Shout out to Sonic.
The Birth of a Nation.
Yep.
So close.
All right, and what town on Earth did Superman grow up in?
Kansas?
Metropolis.
No. Small town. Or,
Krypton.
Close,
Tonight.
close.
Oh.
Smallville.
Smallville, yeah.
Who lived at 1313 Mockingbird Lane?
Phineas. Whatever that was there.
Batman.
The Munsters.
Oh.
And if you ever wondered the answer to this question, what television show was The Simpsons actually a spinoff of?
Tracy Ullman Show.
Yes.
Oh, damn, he's good.
And I actually watched that. I remember watching
And
it.
how many times have they predicted
Has anybody,
the future?
you guys ever looked that up?
I've
like
never watched
original
either of
Simpsons
them.
episodes? They're so grainy and like
No.
the craziest thing about it was Homer was
What's
like
that?
a ruthless child beating. Like he was so bad and he was like a jerk. You know, he'd come in, he was
Typical
like the
Maple Grove
drunk
dude.
guy and he'd be like, Bart, and he'd go over and choke him out and stuff.
Typical
and it was
trailer
always
park,
like,
freaking redneck father or some kind.
yeah, so he like evolved into just kind of like a nice dope instead of like
Whatever
the.
happened to Beavis and Butthead?
They just- it was over.
Fucking quit.
Yeah.
MTV dropped out and started showing Syndicate shit,
Adult
and
Swim
Teen
and
Mom,
shit.
and
Oh yeah.
then they got Ridiculousness. Is
Love
pretty
Line.
cool, but
They went to
yeah,
Love Line for a while.
Catfish.
Oh, catfish.
They
Yo, we are,
Real Worlds.
So just, guys, before we bring the tonight's podcast to a close, just want to remind everybody where we are. We're in Norwich, New York at a place called Sonic Gardens,
Fuck.
run by Angelo Moriano, a good friend of ours, gracious enough to host Sonic's Corner. We're having a great time doing this podcast. And, guys, you can do your own podcast if you want. If you want to sell Tupperware or you want to have your own essential oils show or you want to sit down with a couple guys and play a guitar and show the world what you got, just reach out to Angelo. A lot of cool
I have a
things.
question.
You got a question? Go ahead.
Are you done with the ad yet?
Not yet. I was going to.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to remind people that we do a little business share here, and the Guns Granada actually owns ESR Motorsports. So if you need your car fixed or your ATV fixed, he's the man to reach out to. Josh, the CEO of Needs and Threads, can handle all your marketing needs for a band or any company or any sports team for that matter. Make shirts, banners, all kinds of cool things. Reach out to Josh Needham at Needs and Threads
Yes, sir.
on Facebook. And again, guys, don't forget, if you're a band out there looking for a place to record, lay down a track, Angelo
Throw
Moriano
a party.
here at the studio has you covered. If you want to throw a private party, a big bash, a reception,
Small
you
bash.
name it.
It's honestly, it's really a great place, guys, for bands to throw even like a CD release party or
exactly.
any kind of event where they want to invite, really get some people out. It's not a bar, but it's got, a great atmosphere, and every time we have done anything, it's been great. So, if you just want to reach out and kind of rent the place and throw a party for all your friends to come watch your band or all your fans or release a CD, we can do it. And then on top of that, the kicker is we can record the whole thing in 32 track PreSonus recording studio
And video.
and we can get the video in there, and we can really have a great package put together to make it epic. So Sonic Gardens, look
Hell
it up.
yeah.
Just playing around tonight, but we'll be back again next Thursday.
Yeah, the word's still out of whether we'll be here on Saturday or not for UFC 248. But so maybe we'll see you Saturday. If not, we'll surely see you next Thursday. Once again, thank you, Gino the Guns Granada, the Wildcat, and Angelo
And I'm
for hosting. I'm Rhino.
I really like both fighters in this, Adesayna and Romero. They're both like great guys, I think, and really talented. So I'm not really looking forward to seeing either of them lose. But hey,
somebody's got to.
somebody's got to lose.
Somebody's got to lose.
So we'll see what happens.
So don't forget, we are Sonic's Corner each and every Thursday, guys. UFC
you hear that
sports
music?
podcasting team. We're a bunch of middle-aged guys that only know about half of what we're talking about. Thanks again, everybody.
We know trivia,
click
though.
like and share. Help
We
us
don't
out
know
with what we're
nothing
trying to achieve. Thank you very much.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. We're out of here.
We're out of here. Peace. Sonic Gardens Radio.
That was a late one tonight. Yeah. We'll get it better next week.
We got a late start.
I was up